So chapter 1.4, substitution. By the end of this class, I should be able to solve a linear system using substitution. Now, we learned how to solve a linear system the other day. And how do we solve it? By graphing. Now, you probably found that graphing is not always accurate or easy. So we're going to learn how to solve using substitution. This will give us a very accurate answer, okay, and not too difficult either. So let's take a look at this example. It says the grade 10 class wants to rent a banquet hall for their year-end party. Joe's banquet hall charges $500 to rent the room, plus $15 for each meal. Tom's banquet hall charges $400 for the hall, plus $18 for each meal. Which is your best option? Justify. Okay. So, is there a better option? Yeah. So the answer here is really, it depends. Okay. And it depends on what? How many students? Okay. Or how many meals you're going to have. So, let's take a look at my variables first. You always want to think about your variables and make sure you define your variables. I think during the homework, a lot of you did not define your variables. Okay, so please define your variables first and then do the question. Now, what is X going to represent? The number of students or meals, right? Number of meals. Or number of students. Now Y, what is Y going to be then? The total cost. So anytime you're renting or you're trying to buy something, in this case where there's only one thing you're buying, then usually you have a total cost, right, as a variable. Okay. So let's make our equations. Okay, so Joe's banquet hall, what is that going to be? Y equals 15x, okay, plus 500. Okay, and then let's make another one for Tom, and this is going to be Y equals what? 18x plus 400. Now let's call this equation number 1 and this equation number 2. I like to label stuff, so I think you should try to get used to labeling things too. All right. Now remember in order to solve this system, what do we have to find? We need to find well, sure, but in terms of, the solution to a system, what do we have to find? The point of intersection, right? So we need to find where these two lines come together, meet together. So let's write that down. I am. So we need to, find the point of intersection, which is going to be a X and Y point. Okay, so it's going to be a point has two numbers, right? X value and Y value. So for the point of intersection, the X value of both are going to be what? The same. The Y value for both will be the same. Do you understand? Because remember that it's going to be one single point. Okay, there's going to be one single point that fits these two equations, that satisfies these two equations. Mean this X is the same as this x. This y is going to be the same as this y for the point of intersection. When we're looking for the point of intersection, okay, these two x's are the same, these two y's are the same. Okay, let's write that down. The x and y values are going to be the same. Okay, for both equations. All right, here we go. So x and y, so if we want to find the point of intersection, these two x's have the same value, these two y's have the same value. Okay, you have to understand that very well. Okay, and so let me ask you a question. Okay, what is the value of y here? What is the value of y for this? 15x plus 500. Okay, let me ask you again. What is the value of y? 15x plus 500. Is that good? Okay, now, so this y, okay, is equal to what? 18x plus 400. However, what did I just say? These two y values are exactly the same. So, that means instead of y here, what can I put? Yeah, I could put, what is y equal to again, I said? 15x plus 500. So instead of y, what can I put? 15x plus 500. Does that make sense? Okay. This y, okay, Liam. So why do I do that? So let's see. We're going to substitute. So I'm going to sub in equation number 1 into equation number 2. So again, I said you can put this whole thing, that's the value of y, so I can put it into that y, because y is equal to y in this case. So I put this y equal to this y. So watch what happens. Beautiful things happen now, because now you got 15x plus 500, okay, is equal to 18x plus 400. Why is this so beautiful? Because there is only one variable left. There's only x left. Okay, there's no more y. So that means I can isolate x. And then you get the value of x, which is the number of meals. You got it? Okay. So I'm going to bring this one over here. Going to take this one over this way. Again, negative, negative. So this is going to be 15x minus 18x is equal to 400, okay, minus 500. Okay, so do the math there. You'll get negative 3x is equal to negative 100. And I hope you are comfortable with integer addition, subtraction there. What do I have to do next to end this thing? Divide both sides by negative 3. Okay, so divide negative 3. And so x is equal to, now let's just leave it as 100 over 3. Okay, but that's what, 33.33. Okay, so let me just leave it at that. Now, did I find the point of intersection? Not yet. I just found the value of x. Now I have to find the value of y. The value of y when? When x equals to 100 over 3. What is the y value when I have, what is the cost? The y value of the cost when I have 100 over 3 students. That's not possible, but anyways, yeah. Let me just keep it like that just to work it out. So I'll call that equation number 3. And what I'm going to do to solve for y, I'm going to sub in, okay, equation number 3, which is x equals 100 over 3, into equation what? Which one would I sub it into? Does it matter? No, because I said the y value should be what? The same. Okay. So whether I put 100 over 3 into equation 1 or 2, it doesn't matter because they're going to end up being the same values. If they're not, you did something wrong. Okay. So I'm going to sub it into equation number 1. Okay, and let's take a look at what it gives you. Y is equal to 15x. What's the value of x we're checking? 100 over 3. Okay, and then plus 500. Now, if you remember how to do this, how do you do this? Do you remember? You can do 15 times 100 first, and then divided by 3. Or you can do what? 15 divided by 3 first, okay, and then times it by what? 100. And I think that's probably easier there. Okay, so 15 divided by 3 gives you what? 5. So it's 5 times 100. And that gives you 500. And plus another 500. Okay, so this gives you 1,000. Okay. So what is my conclusion? Okay. The question was, which one is your better option? Now, to start with, which one was cheaper? If you look at your notes, which one was cheaper to start with? Tom, right? Because the rental cost was $400, so it was cheaper. So it started off cheaper, but notice that the meals are what? More expensive. So the more students you have, okay, the Tom is gonna at one point what? Cross, okay, Joe there. Do you understand? Okay, I'll do this here. I'll summarize it here, and then I will graph it and show you graphically what it's showing. Okay, so if you have less than, let's say 33 meals, or less than or equal to 33 meals, you're going to go with who? Tom, right? Okay. Okay, you understand? But if you have more, okay. So here's example number 2. It says Sam invests $2,000 in 2 different accounts. He saves part of it in a 4% mutual fund account and the rest in a 3% GIC account. At the end of the year, he earns $75. How much did he save in both accounts? Now, we're going to assume that this is going to be a simple interest. Okay, there's compound interest, simple interest. We'll just assume that this is just simple interest. Okay, so just going to give you 4% of whatever you put in there. Now, let's think about our variables again. What could change in this situation? Let's go. Come on. What could change in this situation? How much he? Huh? How much he earns is there? Mate? Yeah, how much money he put into each account, because notice he has $2,000 and he's going to put some of it in the mutual fund and another into the GIC. So, X, we're going to do amount in the mutual fund. Okay? And here is the amount in the GIC. Now, is this going to be a y equals problem, or is this going to be a mixture problem? Yeah, this is a mixture problem, right? So, you're going to have x. Usually, the easiest one is going to be x plus what? Y is equal to some amount. In this case, what is it going to be? 2,000. Okay. How much he puts in the mutual fund plus how much he puts in the GIC is going to equal a total of $2,000. Now, what is the next equation that you can find? Yeah, 0.04x plus 0.03y is equal to $75. Is everyone okay so far? Okay, now let me label them again. Let me label this as 1 and this one as 2. Now, remember how we did the top question. We had the value of what? Y, and we also had the value of y for another one. So we actually had the value of y. Okay. However, in this one, the problem is I do not have the value of y, nor do I have the value of x. Okay. So what I want to do is figure out the value of y or the value of x. Now, which one looks easy to find? Is it easy to find the value of y or the value of x? Doesn't matter. Okay, because look here, this guy is easy to find. The value of this x will be very easy to find. The value of this y will be very easy to find as well. So it doesn't matter in this case. I will find the value of x though, since someone said x. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to isolate x in this case. Okay. Now what do you get then? X is equal to 2,000 minus y. And I will call that equation number 3. I'm isolating x. So I brought the y over. Okay. Now I know the value of what? X. What is the value of x? 2,000 minus y. What is the value of x? 2,000 minus y. Okay. Now let's continue. So, again, wonderful and beautiful things happen now. Okay. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sub that new equation into, I'm going to sub number 3 into equation number, which one? 2. Okay. You do not want to sub in the equation number 3 back into 1, because 1 and 3 are basically what? The same. Okay. And if you plug it back into the same thing, that's not good. You're going to get some funny thing going on there. Okay. So what do we get right now? 0.04x. What can I write here instead of x? The value of x. Okay. So instead of x, I can actually write the value of x. And the value of x is what? 2,000, okay, minus y. Okay. plus, what do I write? Plus what? Yeah, 0.03y is equal to what? 75. Beautiful. Well, now I only have one variable, which is the y. So what can I do now? Isolate y. Rearrange it so I can isolate y. How do I solve this? I multiply in. Okay. Remember? So what do you get? 0.04 times 2,000, which gives you 80. Okay. That times that gives you negative 0.04y plus 0.03y is equal to 75. Now, once you have this, all you need to do is gather like terms and isolate y. So, what do you get if you add these two? If you add these two y's here, what do you get? Negative 0.01y. Remember, take the negative in front of the value. Okay, so use negative 0.04. Okay, so this is what you get. This side you get 75 minus 80. Okay, and then you just solve it from there. Negative 0.01y is equal to negative what? Negative 5. Okay, and then all I have to do is divide both sides by negative 0.01 divide negative 0.01. And so y is equal to 500. Okay, and so this is, I'm going to call number 4. Am I done? No. Shh. I found the value of y. I need to find the value of x. Now, I know what y is equal to. Y is 500. Now, I need to plug this back into one of the equations here. Now, which equation would I plug it back into? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? And the answer would be, doesn't matter, but to make your life easier, you will plug it into number 3. Because number 3 is already what? Rearranged for x equals something. That's what we need. I want to know what x equals to. Well, it says here what x equals to. It says x equals 2,000 minus y, which I know now is 500. So that's all I have to do, and I get x. Okay? So I'm going to sub in number 4 into number 3. And so you get x is equal to 2,000. Okay, minus y, but I know y is 500 now, so y minus 500. And so x is equal to 1,500. Okay, what does this mean? In order to what? In order to earn $75 from both accounts, I need to put $1,500 in the mutual fund and $500 in the GIC. Okay. Therefore, need to put what? 1,500 at 4% and put $500 at 3%. And that will give you $75 in